My name is Pete Charles Manos Jr. I'm from Miami, Florida. My dad was a professional baseball player with the Philadelphia Phillies. I had a great childhood. It was actually an unbelievable childhood. I grew up in sports mostly. I went to the Miami Dolphins games every Sunday, the Miami Hurricanes games every Saturday. My dad ran the Boys and Girls Club. Couldn't have really asked for a better childhood. I was happy. I played football, basketball, baseball, hockey. Had two brothers and two sisters. I was the youngest, and life was good. Growing up in Miami was a real fast-paced lifestyle, and I became accustomed to that. In and out of detoxes and rehabs, in and out of jail. Just completely lost. My dad had lent me his car. We were in Miami. He was working, and he lent me his car and said, pick me up from work at 10 o'clock, and I never showed up because I was so high. And the following day, he called me, and he just said, I don't care what you're doing or what's going on. Just pick me up from work tonight. Don't leave me there. And I said, I'll be there, Dad. And around 7 o'clock, I lent the car to a guy, and he never returned it. So I never picked up my dad that night. I was scared, and 7 a.m. rolled around, and I had been walking all night looking for the car, and I knew that I was never going to get it back. And I called the cops, and they showed up, and it happened to be a high school friend of mine, the cop, and he said, do you need help? I said, I do. And he got me into a detox and a rehab that day. I talked to my dad. I tried calling my dad that week, and he was crying so much he couldn't even spit out a word. And on the second week, I called him one more time, and he was devastated, and he basically said, I never thought you would do this to me. He was crying, and he said, you know, my blood pressure's through the roof. You're gonna kill me. You keep acting like this, you know. A week and a half later, it was 3 days before I'm getting ready to finish the program, and the counselor comes in and sits me in and says, your dad just had a heart attack and died. And I was completely devastated. It was my best friend my whole life, and the last thing he saw me do was steal his car, basically, and sell it. I had to go to the funeral the day I was finishing the program, and there were so many people there, and the feeling that everybody was whispering was that I had killed my father, and people had tried to fight me at the funeral, and I was just devastated, and I didn't know if I was ever going to make it from that point. On November 6th, I entered Justin's place. November 5th was my dad's birthday, which is ironically my sober date. And I knew at that moment when I came in that I was going to give it everything I had. I felt like God had finally brought me to the place where it was my time, and how the dates lined up with my sober date and my dad's birthday, I felt like was a chance for me to honor my father, not only in heaven, but on earth, who had passed away. When I came to Justin's place, I didn't know what to expect. I had a hardened heart. I was a complete mess. I just wanted to get off drugs. Real shortly after being in motivational track, a couple weeks, I realized that this was a program like I'd never been in before. And I started to hear and see things that I'd never seen before in any other program. And my heart started to soften a little bit, and God started to chip away certain things that I was holding on to. When I got to LaBelle and started working the program, just things started falling into place, and I was really able to identify the hardened heart and the selfishness that I really had in me, that I had been a selfish, prideful, arrogant person my entire life. And it really started to change me. My heart started to get softened. I started to listen. I started to read the Bible a lot. I started to listen to sermons. And it started to provide an opportunity for me to establish a relationship with Christ. After I finished LaBelle, I had the opportunity to come to motivational track again and be a peer mentor. And it was the first time that I really started serving other people and helping other people. It really allowed me to get out of myself. And it's just been a complete life change. I came in here to get off drugs, and I have gotten a completely new life. I've established a relationship with my sisters, with my mom, with my brothers. God has used me in ways I never thought was possible. I never thought again that sports would ever come back into my life, and He's opened a door for me to get back into coaching a basketball team. I can't even explain the amount of joy and freedom that I feel today. It's just such a blessing. And I know that I really haven't done much, and I don't deserve any of this. But by pursuing Christ and trying to be as obedient as I can, He has completely blessed me beyond imagine. And it's just been an overwhelming experience, and I'm just so grateful to come through this program.